Here we go, Crawford Ashley!
Thank you all for coming. My name's Crawford Ashley, or most people who know me as Gary Crawford. I changed my name if you think it's funny, because I was signing on the door at the time and I didn't want them to put the two and two together, so that's the reason why.
They all think he's funny as well.
Now, I'm a kid from the streets of Airhills, not Chapeltown.
Chapeltown sounds better.
Nah, I don't. Airhills boys know that, and if you're not from Airhills, it's Hare Hills. And like I used to say, I wipe my nose on my sleeve, I know where I come from. And this is just my story of my life.
Want some lights on? Please.
Bring up the lights, put me in the spotlight.
Lights.
Are we working or are we waiting for the lights? I don't know. You working?
Just lights, you asked me.
Here we go. We have lights, yeah.
Just go lights.
Ready?
Just go, yeah, bring ready for the
Just go
time.
lights.
Okay.
That's alright, isn't it?
When did it all start? Amateur boxing career, go for it.
Oh, I was 7 and I had to go to the gym. There was no two ways about it. My dad said, you're going to the gym 3 times a week or you can't play out. Now, I'm going to the gym because I like playing out. So, I went with a kid called Barrett who was a year older than me. And he was very, very good. Couldn't really hit him. And I learned a lot from Barry. I how to, what's that word? Avoid punches, avoid getting hurt. And that's it, boxing is a sport that when you get hit, it hurts. The art of boxing is not to get hit. And I was very lucky because we had Tommy Miller and Dave Buck. And Tommy was more into the art and Tommy Bergen. Thank you for reminding us. No, Tommy Miller. I need Tommy that.
Tommy Miller?
Yeah.
Of course it was, everyone knew
I didn't know that. You were my manager as
that.
well.
I wasn't a cook.
Tommy Bergen.
All I wanted to say, it was Tommy Bergen, not Tommy Miller, because Miller was a crook. So,
Yeah.
carry on.
Yeah, the art form of boxing, which is like poetry in motion. And he taught us that. And he taught us to move, he taught us to dance through the whole of the ring. And I think that's what's kind of like missing now. People want too much to learn how to punch and punch hard. If ever thinking about how do I defend against these punches. So, and then there was Dave Buck. He was one of the great ones. He taught you all the infighting, all the dirty tricks, how to break somebody's arm, how to wait on the blind side of the referee, how to give them the forearm, how to follow through. All sorts of things that I knew and I could do in the ring, but I never wanted to. I always wanted to win by the rules. So I went to the gym when I was 7. I had a couple of exhibitions, which Lee didn't believe me, in the Burton's boxing gym. It was underneath Burton's, it was massive.
I'm going to ask a question quite quickly now. Mick Tranmere, you're similar age. You are, you're similar, you're younger. You're younger, he's got a good suntan. He's younger, but you're similar age.
Did
Right.
you go Burton's?
Yeah,
Was it a big gym?
yeah.
A very big gym.
And even outside, when there was the fair outside, so
Yeah.
as if you fought in the tent.
Thank you.
This one the question. Was there a stadium underneath Burton's?
It was.
You two argue with each other.
That was a question. Underneath Burns or a stadium?
Massive.
Right.
Anyway, go.
Anyway, so I had a couple of exhibitions, me and Barry, were in front of 1,000 people. So when it came to my first fight, crowds never bothered me.
Wait, can I ask you that? When you say Barry, are you on about Barry Metcalf?
Yeah. I've got a roll a bit closer. So, where was it now?
His head's in mine.
Nice girls. What on there? Where were I?
Burton.
Burton's my first fight.
Stadium. Underworld
I'm
Stadium.
not playing on game no more. So I had my first fight against a kid called Mark McGreef.
Mark.
Mark. That's what I said.
Okay. Sound like Martin.
And I remember my trainer, Tommy, saying to me, when in doubt, stick your left hand out. I didn't throw a right hand, and I beat him on points. And to this day, he don't believe that was my first fight. And I won that just on the jab. And then I went on to win quite a few, but like I was saying, the trainers I had were brilliant. They told me that no matter who thinks you've won the fight, down to 3 people at ringside, there's the only opinion that matters. So you've got 3 rounds to take out of their hands, and if you can't, you've got to accept the verdict. So my first fight, I boxed a guy called Jay Mannion in my 9th fight, and I lost it up in Ellesmere Port. The only person who won there was Liam Coleman, and that was because he stopped the guy. And I remember coming back, I was 13, I wasn't even bothered, because I knew I boxed the kid's head off. And then the following year, I got sick and I didn't make the weight. So the year after that, I went up in weight, because you got weighed in before Christmas. And then this is in the schools. And then after Christmas, when you put weight on over Christmas, you go up in weight, and I couldn't lose it. So the following year, I went upper class. And I went all the way through, I stopped everybody. And then the following year after that, exactly again, stopped everybody. Won 2 schoolboys, and that year I won the junior ABAs as well. And the following year, in the ABAs, in the semi-finals, there's 4 of us, and we all got picked out to fight. And I fought first, and I stopped the kid. And then the second fight, it was a really good fight, and the kid who won it was jumping around. And this trainer walked over and says, "You're fighting Crawford in the next round, you know." And you know he pulled out. And they sent me a belt, and they sent me a trophy, not a belt, it was a trophy and a plaque to the gym. Didn't even get the opportunity to get up there and get in the crowd. Anyway, that's just a thing I'm a bit pissed off about. I'm emotional and I don't know why, it's weird. And I got picked to box for England, and I've gone down to the England squad, and there's Kevin Hickey there and that. And I've gone down a few times. Now there's this time I've gone down, and it's against, they're picking a team to fight Norway. And the kid I'm sparring with already stopped him twice. And he gets picked over me to fight in Norway. So I said to Kevin, "How come you picked him to fight? He went, he's got more experience than you." I went, "Of getting knocked out?" He went, "Shut up and you'll do as you're told." Oh, fuck off. I'm the best boxer in Britain, I'm the best boxer you've got, and you don't want me. I'm not kissing your ass. Next morning there was a knock on the door. "Crawford, we're going running." I went, "No, I'm going home, I'll catch you there now, I've got my expenses." And I just left. Help me.
I think he's going great, don't you guys? So, Kevin Hickey, best coach England ever had?
No, he was an idiot, to be truthful with you. He was a karate man. And he was teaching, like, I couldn't get my head around this. It's my privilege to be there, it's my right. I've earned the right to be there. And I've got a guy who's been a coach for 2 years telling me how to throw a left hook. I had one of the best teachers in the business from the start, Tommy Bergen. And I've got a kid who's just had 2 years on a training course telling me how to throw a left hook. and then tells me that we win on points, we don't knock people out. I said, I'll never win a fight on points. Why is that? It's favouritism because they don't like you. And that's all it's down to. You walk in a certain way, and the judges don't like your attitude. No matter what you do, if you don't stop them, you're going to lose the fight. And that's what I learned, is people's opinions don't matter. It's what you think of yourself that matters. And like, the good thing about fighting back in them times, it was everywhere you went was hostile. Everywhere you went it was hostile, and it was great because we was taught to make the ring your home. The only person you've got to worry about is the person in front of you. The crowd have no effect. One of the best things I've always found is silence, especially when you go into an hostile environment and you just shut them up. And your favourite one's the guy who walked in with the pink shorts on and the wolf whistle.
Well, that's a question for the second half, but you've just ruined that now.
It's one of them things, isn't it?
Okay, so he's killed the question. It was 1980 something in Darlington, and they don't have many dark faces in Darlington. And they were betting, and they said, "Oh, some of your clubs." My dad says, "Say nothing." Says, "All right," because Crawford comes out. Crawford walks out with his hair tied back, and as long as this, it was right down his back. He's all tied back. He's got black shorts on and a pink shorts on and a black vest tucked in. And one of the Darlington lot shouted, "That's a bird!" And they all thought it was a woman fighting a man. Andrew blowing kisses at the crowd as you were on the way in, so it did look like it, to be honest with you. But he did the job.
Now what happened was, I've gone down there and the kid's weighed in about a stone heavier than me. So Brian's having a word with him and he says, we'll give Crawford 20 quid if he fights. Back then I was called Gary. We'll give him 20 quid if he fights. So Brian says to me, "Go to the power for me, why not?" He were a minor, I think he was. Big guy, man.
With Darlington, wasn't it?
And as I'm walking to the ring, the crowd are going mad, the wolf whistling, so I'm blowing kisses, why not? I get in the ring, and the guy's big, toweled up and everything. And I remember coming to the centre of the ring, and the referee does it, going back to the corner. And I've gone out, bell's rung, and I've gone back into the corner, and all of it is gone, boom, and he's on the floor, and I've ran over to the corner, and I've gone, "Don't get up, don't get up, don't get up." Yes! And that was it, fight was over in the first round, first punch. I didn't even see the punch myself, I just closed my eyes and just winged it. Well, that's what you gotta do sometimes, you gotta go over there. And the crowd cheered. All his fans cheered, and I thought I was part of life. You go over there and you give what you've got. And you can win the crowd. And it's about winning the crowd. It's not about winning the fights, it's about winning the crowd.
Okay, so you got into the seniors, the ABAs, the England set up. Were you looking to go to the Olympics anytime?
No, like I says, when they did that, I walked out, I wasn't even bothered.
So in the senior ABAs, when the seniors came,
No, what happened was when I was 18, me and Glenn, my older brother, 4 years older than me, we were the same weight. We tossed a coin to see who was going to go in the ABAs. He went in and he actually won them. But in that year, they never sent a light heavyweight over to the Commonwealth Games because, sorry, Glenn.
because of you, yeah.
Because I pissed them off down there. And Glenn's completely different to me. But he represented England 3 or 4 times, didn't he? Yeah. But I didn't. But it's life, isn't it? It's how we live and we learn and we carry on. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and just carry on. And my last fight as an amateur was against Michael Gale. And I remember the first round I was chasing him all over, I couldn't catch him. So in my head, second round I thought, I'll let him hit me and I'll come onto the ropes and catch him as he comes in. He hit me, I went back to the ropes, the referee's giving me a standing 8 count. I said, what the fuck are you doing, you idiot? He went, hey, out, like, fuck off, man. I said, it's boxing, you're allowed to get hit. And I just lost all interest in boxing then. Just kind of like just went downhill. And I started getting into a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. And I just kind of like lived my life for about 4 years doing what I wanted, when I wanted, going where I wanted. And then I was lost. And I walked back into Birmingham Toast. And I started going back to the gym every now and again. Because what happened was, I was looking at a 5-year sentence. And I got told if I got found guilty, I'm doing 5 years. And I was in the cell on the town hall, waiting for the verdict to come back. And I thought, if I get out of this, I'm not getting in any more trouble again. And they came back and they found me guilty. And the judge said, I fine you £100 and £25 compensation. I believe your side of the story. Go off and enjoy yourself. And I went off on holidays. I put myself in prison. House, gym, that's all I went for about a year. And about 6 months down the line, I was in and John Durkin said to me, before about going pro, huh? I don't know. And I said, I wouldn't know how to, and he says, well, Tommy Miller, and I found out he's a crook. And Peter Coleman, and I went down to the gym and that's where I started my professional career. And
2 seconds. The building's still there where Peter Coleman's gym used to be. He went, he's got Stinky's Peep House down there. It's just whenever I go past it, always makes me laugh that it was an old school pro boxing gym and now it's a nightclub sort of thing. But yeah, so you turned pro in what year?
oh,
Is that a tough one?
I don't know. One of them years. You know.
One of them years. 80s we'll say, alright?
What is Oh yeah.
80s, go. Turn pro.
Before I was turned pro, I was smoking a lot of smoke. Well, and I remember I have certain things in my mind. If I'm going to turn pro, I want to do it 100%. And the things I wanted was, I wanted the Lonsdale belt outright. And when I retired, I didn't want to make any comebacks. That were the only two kind of like things I wanted in boxing. But I wanted to give myself a 100% chance of achieving what I could achieve. So it was August Bank Holiday Carnival. The last time I smoked a joint. The following day I went up and went for a run. Did 7 miles. And at the end of it I was sick. But what I had there was my mind controlled my body. Because I got about 2 miles in and out in knackered. And all I kept saying to myself is, we can get to the next lamppost. We'll stop at the next lamppost. Come on, we can get to the next lamppost. And I did 7 miles and I was sick, horrible. But I realised then, I control my body. My body doesn't control me. When it's tired, I can push it, I can make it go. But for me, there's a certain way of doing it, and that's to coax it. It's not just scream and shout, it's to coax it. So that was the kind of like mindset I went into boxing. I didn't care whether I won or lost in the first few years. That was me learning my trade. Because boxing, pros and amateur are completely different. And I learned the trade in the pro game. It's a completely different cell, different mindset. You're fighting for your livelihood, you're not fighting for the trophy, it's about money. It's about putting food on the table, it's about having a nice car. That's what you're there for. And there's a guy in front of you who wants exactly the same as you. So when you're in that gym, you've got to work, you've got to give 100%. And that's what I did, that's how I went, and that's my mindset. And it was so easy. It's like when I got through, people were saying, oh, you used to be out. I used to see you out a lot. I said, yeah, I used to drive. I never ever drunk and drive. People never had a license and never drunk and drove. That's hard, that's a tongue twister, isn't it? So when I was out and people were seeing me, I was just dancing on the dance floor. That's just, to me, exercise and training. So you lot are all out drinking and smoking and I'm there dancing, so I'm doing exercise and keeping fit. Going back. Sleep through the day, train at night, party, go back.
Lift the microphone near your mouth, I'm getting feedback.
you win.
Not for me. I got it. Right.
Yeah.
No, I'm lost.
That's better.
No, I'm lost. Where
My
am
Barry White. Come on, play.
You're out dancing.
You dancing.
I? So,
Don't get him singing. Right, go on, yeah.
I can't sing, you know
Are you
that.
there?
Where am I?
Where are you?
My first fight? Oh yeah, my first fight was against Steve Ward.
Steve Ward.
He's the
6-0. Yeah. It was undefeated in 6 fights.
I
It was undefeated in 6 fights, but your first pro fight.
stopped him in the second round. And then I went, the next fight stopped him in the second round. And I was introduced to a referee called Larry O'Connell in Bradford. And he told me I'd get my hair cut. I told him, fuck off. He says, you'll never ever box in a ring with hair like that. I said, you don't even know what my hair's going to be like. I says, when I get in the ring, if you don't like it, then you can tell me to get out. And when I boxed a kid called Blas Campbell. My first day round fight. And as he's raising his hand, he looked at me and went, you won that fight. I went, fuck off, you cunt. And got out of the ring. It's one of them, certain people just pissed me off. And I have to sort of like tell them then, and then I can't speak to other people about them. I've got to speak to their face and tell them that.
Okay, so we've had 3 fights. Your first 8-rounder, Blas Campbell. We had another few more fights. You boxed for your first title, Central Area title.
Oh yeah, against Carl Thompson. And he was, I think, 8-0 unbeaten. He hit hard, man. I remember coming out first round, he hit me and he put me on the floor, and I'm on the floor and this voice in there just went, we're gonna win this, but it's gonna get harder than this. And I've got up, and then I put him down. And I'm thinking in my head, that's an even round now. And then I get hit again, and the lights just went bing. And the bell rang. And I've gone back to the corner and sat in the corner and went, fucking hell, man, that was a long first round. Peter Coleman went, you silly cunt, you're coming out for 6. I went, am I winning? He went, no. And I went out, and I stopped him. But I didn't stop him, he gave up, broke his heart. And it was on YouTube, but they took it off now, I don't know why, but you can actually see that he gave up. And like I said to people, that made him the fighter he became, because he never wanted that feeling again of giving up, knowing what he could have gone on. There were another, I think, 6 rounds to go. They had 6 rounds to solve this puzzle, or he gave up. Anyway, the next one was against Brian Schumacher. I've got that on video, on DVD, video of my age. And he was the captain of the England squad, the full seniors when I was in the juniors. And I wanted to beat him in 3 rounds, and I wanted to beat him bad, just to send a message to the ABA team. And I stopped him in 3 rounds, and it made me smile. Made me smile.
So Brian Schumacher was the captain of the England team, and he went to the Olympics in USA. He went to the Olympics in USA. Yeah, he did. I just thought I'd just let everyone know that that's how good he was.
That was the last fight for Peter Coleman and Tommy Miller. Because when I signed with Peter and Tommy, it was a deal. They took 25% and split between them both. And when I boxed Schumacher, I got £1,000. And Peter Coleman decided to take 10% off for gym fees as well, so I just went, bye. And what did I do then? Yeah.
Well, they don't know, so you tell them. You might know.
No.
I said, you tell them.
No,
So after that fight, you decided to
about
leave Peter.
3 months left on my contract, and I'm just going to let everything out. So I started sending letters off to promoters, and I got one from Barry Hearns to come and see him. So I went to a show to watch him, and the first thing he said to me is, I don't know nothing about boxing, but what I do know is promoting. I will tell you how to box, though you tell me how to promote. So and that sounds fine to me. He introduced me to Darky Smith, who was training, and the first week down there, I was sparring with Chris Eubanks, and Darky said to me before the fight, before we started, Chris don't take any prisoners. Watch yourself. So, all right then. The guy turned up about an hour late. He'd been to get his hair cut, I don't know why. And we get in the ring and he says, I'm going to do 2 rounds with Crawford, 2 rounds with Schumacher, 2 rounds with Crawford, 2 rounds with Schumacher. And he does this weird warming up. He spars 2 rounds with me, and then the second round he starts to go down on my knee. So I release him and then go, and he comes up with his uppercut and he just misses me by that much. So that's how we play. Then he did 2 rounds with Schumacher, and then he said he was knackered, you couldn't do any more. So, you know, on the Friday, me and him are sparring again. He's gone down on Monday, I just stepped back and he right up, boom, staggered him all around the ring, went to the Darky. I don't want to spar with Crawford no more. So Darky said, well, fuck off back to Brighton then. So, please, Chris Eubanks is all, what's that word I'm looking for? I can't remember the word I'm looking for, but he's one of these type of, he's a pretender. Picks and chooses who he wants to fight. He had, Barry Earns told me he had a list of 6 or 7 fighters that they went through and picked the fight that they won. And another one whose record, he had a lot of gimmies. He didn't win the fights, he just got the decisions. Well, that's it. And my first fight was against Dwayne Nunes in Brighton. And I stopped him in about 60 seconds. And I went to Barry. I'm being paid yet, Barry. He says, oh, we'll send him a check. I said, no, I need some money. I said, I've always been the away fighter. I've always been paid after a box. So he gave me some money. He went, how much did we agree on? I said, we never agreed on anything. He says, there's £1,000 all right. I went, no, for that. I went, yes. He says, but don't ever do that against me. I went, what? I says, give me opponents like that. I says, it's a shame, it's a disgrace. And we all want easy fights. I went, no, I want to learn. I want learning fights. I want something that's going to push me. You know? And his wife was looking at me for ages. She was just staring at me. And she went, I think you should cut your hair. I went, why? He said, you fascinated for the last 5 minutes. And just walked off. He gave me £200. And then about 3 or 4 days go by, he didn't get no money. So I phoned up the office. I said, it's Crawford Ashley's, Barry Earns there, please. So I'll just find out. And I'm thinking, there's not going to be any. Hi, Crawford, what can I do? I said, Barry, I'm being paid. He went, I haven't got your address. I went, okay. Gave him the address. The following day, I got the check for £1,000. So as far as I'm concerned, he was all right with me on that one. But then he starts telling me, he sacked Darky Smith and he started telling me who should train me. And I went, well, you don't know anything about boxing. How can you tell me my trainer should be? And then me and him fell out. And then I went to Barney Eastwood. Oh, man.
Why did you go to Barney? Okay.
Why did you go to Barney Eastwood? Did you want to go to Belfast for the weather?
Why? Because I was frozen out with boxing over here. And somebody sent Barney Eastwood a tape, and then he got in touch with me and asked me to come over and see him. So I went over to speak to him. And we were sat at Beresford House, and we sat there, and he says to me, Barry McGuigan would never been a world champion without me. I went, how's that? And did you fight for him? He went, no, but I could have had Zuma Nelson a year before for $100,000. I paid Pedroza $1 million because the time was right. I went, don't do that for me. I went, how do you think you get in the top 10? And when you fight somebody in the top 10, he went, no, I make a phone call. Fuck. All of a sudden my ears just gone, wow, I just went, don't do that for me. My first fight for Barney Eastwood was against a guy called John Williams in London. And I remember they were putting me on at the end, and I wanted to know what time the last train was going to be. He said, don't worry about it. I said, no, what time's the last train? I said, I need to know, because I'm going to get on the last train back. I don't like London. He said, don't worry about that. We've got you a room. So I'm boxing a guy called John Williams. I think he's 14 stone something. And I remember Eastwood said, you're not going to stop this thing. But what I want to see is how you box. All right then. I've gone in the ring and the guy is big and he's come out and he's gone. I went, wait a minute, you can't do that to me. Next time goes, as he's done that, he's got to about there with about 4 or 5 punches on the floor. And I've gone back over to the corner and I'm thinking, now we're going to have a fight. He goes back up and he comes back on the ropes. I aim with about 4 or 5 punches, he's on the floor, the referee stopped the fight. Got out of the ring, got in the taxi, got the last train home. And then I was sparring with a guy called Victor Cordova. Really good fighter from super middleweight world champion. And I was helping him out, and then I was going home for the weekend. And I get to the airport, I get a phone call. Not me, it's Eastwood's golfer. Oh, Barney wants to have a word with you. Can you go on the next flight out? We need to have a word with you in the office. So I've gone down to the office and he goes, I've got you a European title fight. I went, oh, good. Against Graziano Rodriguini. I went, yeah. It's in Germany. I went, and? He said, it's in 6 days' time. I went, no problem. I said, oh, wait a minute. I need to go home to get my gear. I went, no, you need to go training. We'll get your gear sent over to you. So I went, all right then. How much am I getting? He went, 6,000. I said, can't you get me any more than that? He went, no. I went, all right then. This voice in my head goes, how good are you? He was a former super middleweight world champion. He was unbeaten. He's in his own backyard. He got 6 days notice. How good are you? Yeah, all right, let's go for it. So, first time I've ever been picked up at the airport by a promoter. And I remember him looking at me and he goes, the German crowd are very knowledgeable boxers, fans, and they know if you put up a good show. And I just looked at him and says, I'm coming here to lose, man. I went, oh, he never spoke to me till we got to the venue. Then, oh man, this place was full, about 12,000 people in this arena, and they were all for him. Oh, Schwarzer this, Schwarzer that, people spitting in the middle, oh, they're going to kill me and all this stuff. I'm in a little bubble, and every time all this negative's coming to me, I'm just getting big enough. Yeah, you don't even know me. You ain't got a clue. I went in there after round 3, it was silent. Round 4, round 5, they started shouting for me. Round 6, round 7. When he won it on a split decision. The crowd booed. These same people I walked into that wanted to kill me were coming over, hugging me and kissing me, and giving me money, saying things like, you got robbed. I wasn't bothered. I went in there and gave, after the fight, I don't even know what the decision is. I walked up to him and went, can I have a rematch? And he went, I don't speak English. Just like that. That's for fine. But yeah, it was weird how you can go somewhere and people can hear you, but because you've gone in there and give everything you've got, and you put on a show for these people, you can win the crowd. It's not about winning the fight. I won the fight, I didn't get the decision, but I also won the crowd. And that's what it's all about for me. You pay your money to come and see. somebody, you want to see a fight, don't you? You don't want to see somebody lie down. And I found that in America, because I boxed Michael Nunn. 3 weeks notice, I fallen out with Eastwood, I left Eastwood. And I met oh man, talk about jumping out of the frying pan into the fire. Frank Warren. Oh, what a, oh, nothing to speak. Trying to stay nice about people. So I've gone over to Memphis in the pyramid to fight Michael Nunn. I think after this we'll have a bit of a break and show the Nunn fight.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah. You reminded me, didn't you, that I went over there with cracked ribs. Didn't even realise, but I'm going to see Frank Warren.
How did you have crack ribs?
Was in a car crash.
Yeah.
About forget, you know what I mean, like I said. So, I'm going to see Frank Warren. We've had a little meeting. And at that meeting, I didn't realise Bob Paget was there. A guy who means a lot to me. And he walked past me and he said something to me, and I'd give him what he said was a saucy remark. So, I'm going to see Frank. And as I've left, got on and he phoned me up. He said, could you do super middleweight? I went, yes, I've got no world title fight. It's in Memphis, it's in 3 weeks' time, against Michael Nunn. And at the time, Nunn was considered the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. This little stupid voice in my head goes, how good are you? And I find out, yeah, I'll take it. Oh, 1 minute, I ain't got a trainer. So he says, I'll source them out, and we'll go from there. So he phoned me up about an hour and a half later. Eastwood said you can go back there for this fight and train with them. I thought, okay then. I went up to Eastwood's. Why am I so fucking stupid? And then from getting there, all he was doing was hounding me to sign another contract. So the following day I got on the train and played and flew back. Phoned him up, I said, I ain't got a trainer. He gave me 3 names. One was Bob Paget, Jimmy Tibbs, and used to train for Barry I forgot his name. Freddie King. And I phoned up Darky Smith and I said to Darky, I said, I've been given 3 names. He went, I've never heard a bad word said about Bob Paget. I thought he'll do for me. So I phoned up Frank, I said, I want Bob. He phoned me back the next day. Yeah, went down to London and went into training. And Bob just looked at me and he just says, are you here for the money or are you here for the win? I said, I'm here for the win. And his attitude then, you could see that I was there to win. I wasn't there to make up the numbers. And I got 100% from him, and that's all you can ask. And me and him became very good friends from then. And like, in that fight, I got 2 ribs broken. But when I went back to the corner, the Sam Stoolers just looked at me and I said, I can't breathe. And he just went, have you got 1 more round? I went, yeah, I've got another 12. And I went out and I got 3 knockdown rope. I thought, how am I getting emotional? It's fucking stupid. And the 3 knockdown rope was in effect. And just on the bell I got hit and got put down and I just fell. I've blown it. If I'd have got through that round, I'd have won that fight. And I don't care what anybody says, I got battered, but in my head, I'd have won that fight if I got through that round. And after this fight, the Nunn fight, oh man, I missed out a lot of time. No, yeah, because it was like, the press conferences are funny over there, man. Ranting and raving.
Angelo Dundee press conference.
The press conference. Which one?
Angelo Dundee, Nunn fight.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I was on about, the Nunn fight. So they're all very hyper. As I do, you know what I mean? I'm gonna do this. So Nunn's got up and he's speaking. There's a guy in the crowd asked Nunn about their fight. And Nunn's talking to him about this fight, and I just went with him, what do you think I am, Scotch Mist? I'm here to lose. Lose, boy, that's what you're gonna do, you're gonna lose. And somebody says, why don't you get up and talk? So I says, look, thank you for the opportunity. I haven't come over here to lose, I've come over here to fight. And I want to take the title. he got up and started running the roof, and I just thought, and I says, when he'd finished, I got back up again. He says, where I'm from, talking's cheap. I said, we like to fight. You can talk as much as you want. We're fighting on Friday. Starts getting up again, starts running the roof, and I just sit back down. And Angelo Dundee gets up and went, I think his hair is dangerous. I want his hair cutting. I got up and went, the only thing that's dangerous about me are these. If you want this cutting, there's no fight. Just when I sat back down, you're all like, what's going on? But after the Lund fight, I go all over the place. It's just how my mind works. I remember going on stage because there was what's it called? Post-fight interviews. After the fight, you have all these. And there were about 4 world champions. And as I come on the corner, every one of them stood up and started giving me up. And I just thought, I lost the fight, but I feel so at home now with these elites. I've got what I wanted. I belong up here. And I like being at that peak where if you make a mistake, you get put to sleep. If you make a mistake against me, I'm going to put you to sleep. It's that simple. And sometimes we make mistakes. Murad went on with the Clemenson fight when I started doing breakdancing. You know, just chilling.
And I remember watching that fight again on ITV.
Yeah.
And I also thought I watched it because obviously I knew you from Jim and that. And I thought, my God, he's going against Michael Nunn. What you just said, the best pound for pounder in the world. And I thought, he's going to get an hiding here. And you just said what you said. Because of all your thought and everything that you did, you came out, and if you would have gone that extra one, I thought, he's got him here. He's got him. And I at home as a little kid, well, although he says I'm saying it, I'm getting so excited. I'm like, oh my God, Daddy's going to do this, he's going to do it. And unfortunately, like you said, it wasn't to be, but your mindset and everything, like, and that is why you were the champion, what you was. And, you know, even as all, everyone that, you know, you've brought people along and we admire you for what you've done. And it's such a privilege to know that and to hear these stories, what you say now. Because we wouldn't know this, what you went home and had Michael Nunn and you went and took it all this notice and all that. I didn't know all that. So it's nice to hear that and to think what you did in that and was there on ITV. It's like, oh my God, you know, one of the boys has made it from Errol's, you know, and you did, and that was the first big fight I've seen. I mean, I've seen you by Nicky Piper, yeah, I will watch it. But that there, watching on ITV, thought, whoa, guy from Errol's has made it, go get it.
That Nicky Piper was a salesman.
Yeah.
Oh, proper salesman. I was supposed to fight. I won my title against. No, that outright was against Cass Campbell in a place in Ireland, I forgot what it called. Merrifield Leisure Centre.
Oh, Maysfield.
Maysfield Leisure Centre, yeah. That was a boring fight for that one. Where was it?
You were in Belfast, you won the title in Maysfield.
You didn't
Oh,
have the
yeah.
Nicky Piper being
No, I gave up the belt because in the camp there was Noel McGee. They were a light heavyweight and he was right at the top. And he ended up fighting Maurice Corr and Corr beat him. So now I want my title back. So Maurice Corr can't defend his title unless he defends it against me. And me and him were supposed to fight 5 times, 6 times. And 5 times, 6 times, he never went through. And then Frank Warren phones me up and says, I've got you a title fight. All right, and you've got me a title fight. How can you get me a title fight? Well, nobody can fight for the title unless they fight me. He says, against Nicky Piper. It's in Cardiff. I can't remember what day it was. He says, but we're having a press conference tomorrow to announce it. You've got to be there. I said, Frank, I need to get into training. I'm being training. And when I know, but you need to come to this press conference, and he started talking to me like I'm a piece of shit. The little voice in there just said, let's go down and let's watch. I've gone down, I'm at a press conference. I'm sat here, Frank Warren sat there, Nicky Piper sat there. And one of the reporters asked Nicky Piper why he thinks he can beat me. And when I've been training for the last 6 weeks, I went, you're a cunt. You're gonna lose. And as I sat back, this little voice in me just went, how can he beat you? They've had to give him 6 weeks to get ready for you. There's no way he can beat you. Why have we had to give him 6 weeks? That don't even on the playing field. There's no way he can beat you. And that's all that was going on in my head. He can't beat me. And when I went, oh man, I was knackered in that fight. 12th round, I was knackered. But I put him down, I think it was in the 9th. And at the end of the 9th round, I caught him with an uppercut, and he just went dead on me. And I looked at the referee and I went, he's gone. I went back to the corner. I didn't think we were going to come out, and then he came out. And Glenn said to me in the corner, the 12th round, all you have to do is stay on your feet and you won this fight. Okay, now, man, why didn't you tell me I was losing and they're going to have to do it? That was the longest 2 weeks I spent anywhere, man, with them 3 minutes in that last round. Just, where was the bell? Bell! Where's the bell? If you're going to sleep, ring the bell, man. And he went ding, ding, ding. I went, oh. But the referee lifted me on straight away, which was good. And I was happy about that. But I couldn't be bothered with anything, because I was just knackered, man. Completely, utterly, totally spent. I didn't have anything left. But there was no way he was going to beat me. If he'd have gone another 15 rounds, he wasn't going to beat me. And like I say, it's having that mindset. And the Welsh crowd loved it. You know?
So what happened next? You beat Nicky Piper. Big things are coming. What happened to you? What happened to him? What happened next? What happened? Who got the big shot? You haven't forgot. You haven't forgot.
No, I forgot about
Oh, okay.
you reminded me of the event.
Fine.
So for this Piper fight, I signed a 2-fight deal with Frank Warren. But both of the fights were supposed to take place within 8 weeks. So straight after the Piper fight, I said to Frank, Frank, who's my next opponent? He went, no, you need a rest. I was in that fight. I said, I don't need a rest. Somebody's beeping, microwave's on. And I said, I need to fight. No, you need a rest. I said, no, Frank, the contract states this. I never got a fight. And after the 8 week, your contract's run out. No, I've still got him in the contract. And I was writing letters backwards and forwards to him about it. Nicky went on and fought for a world title. I didn't even get a fight. And I remember I got an appointment to go see him. Now, at the time, if I'd have had a gun, I'd have shot the cunt. No, sir, people think I'm joking.
Teddy Marshall.
No, Terry Marshall was his bird. But I wouldn't have done him in a back alley. He'd have been at ringside. I walked up to him, just bang. The man fucked with my life so much back in them times. All I wanted to do was fight. I remember going down to a meeting with him, Eddie Clinton. Remember him? Oh man, he made me promise. He said, promise me, Gary, you're not going to hit him. Promise me you won't hit him. All right then. So now I'm driving down to London. I'm thinking in my head, I can't hit him. What can I do if I can't hit him? I'm gonna hit him, man. And I was running and raving all the way down. And I go into his office, and I went in, and I was really calm. I said, sit down, Frank. Don't you fucking tell me you sit down in my office. I'm gonna stand up there. And he started going on. He started telling me all this about what he can do and all this stuff. I said, all right. I said, I'll tell you what, Frank. I said, I'll do a deal with you. I said, well, I said, I want 5 fights within a year. I said, I want 6 weeks to get ready for a fight. You can change your opponent within 4 weeks. I want 25 grand a fight. I don't care who it's against. If I lose, don't pay me. He went, no, this is what he'll do. And I went, bye. Got up and walked out. How can you deal with somebody like that? And I didn't fight for ages.
What did you get for the Michael Nunn fight? Just not, you don't have to tell us
Oh,
obviously, but
I
think
got
about
19 grand. And when I got to Memphis, they took 3 grand off me in tax.
On a few days' notice.
But
That's even a crack on the border, but it's not sold. Yeah.
oh yeah, no, I was reminded that. I was coming back from Scarborough and I ate a cow. Why is that funny?
Because I think we're all the back.
This car was in the middle of the road. It was about 12 o'clock, about midnight, and it was clear, and I could see it was a long road. There was no one here, and I remember putting my foot down. I was doing around about 80, 90, and I remembered there was a cop car and I got nicked the week before. So I thought I eased off, and as I eased off, I've seen the shadow in the road. I think, what the fuck's that? And when I got to about where you are, Mick, it was a freaking car on the brakes. And all this car just got closer, woof! And he hit the car and it was like, that was a write-off. And the car didn't have a horn either.
And then 3 weeks later,
You
were from London came on.
Not smoking again, Galloway.
No, I didn't smoke until about 4 or 5 years after retirement, which I think I should have took up a lot sooner. Nice, to me it's medicine, it works, it helps. And then I boxed Virgil Hill in Vegas, in Las
Can't forget
Vegas.
that because you're in Las Vegas.
No, I've skipped a
You
more
skipped
down.
it? Oh, I know, yeah.
Well, the thing is, we could be here forever. Yeah, I boxed very nice guy, gentleman. But before the fight, I'm in the dressing room. They come in and say, you're running 20 minutes. Yeah. Gloves come in, getting gloved up. You're running 5 minutes. Guy comes into the training room and says, next time you see me, we're off, we're walking, you ready? I went, yeah, already, all one with the next thing, door opens. Oh, we're just putting a fight on. We won't be long, be over in a few minutes. Keep gloved up. An hour and a half later, I get into the chip. I just think, you're supposed to be the best light heavyweight you've got. Fucking shit, man. I went in there and I was asleep for 6-7 rounds. He went to hospital, I went back to the hotel room, pissed off, because I didn't do enough to take his title off him. But I don't think he beat me. I think that fight should have been a draw. But he didn't deserve to lose his title in that performance. But I don't understand what I'm scared of. You know what I mean? They've got all the Roman advantages and they just have to pull strokes like that. It's like with Jimmy Peters, all the home advantages, I had to go. When I got to the weigh-in, back in the days, you got weighed in the day of the fight, and it was 12 till 1. And I'm walking to the weigh-in eating a sandwich, and I get there at 1:45 and I jump on the scales. And Jimmy Peter goes, thanks for coming. I said, thank me after the fight, mate. I said, don't thank me before the fight. And then I got put in a hotel room above a gym that was running the class, and all the noise, and I was just thinking, I was just laughing, because I knew something special was going to happen. It was a brilliant day, that. Start off in the morning, woke up, was in Bangor, and Eastwood and his golfer, and Bernardo Checkers picked me up at the hotel, took me to a private airfield, and we thought I'd push out a private plane, a little plane, pushed it out, and I thought, I always wanted to be a pilot. I'm sat here, co-pilot, pilot sat there, there's Eastwood in the back, in his golfer, and Bernardo Checkers in the back, and the pilot who's taking us over starts telling us stories about how he was doing missions around Cyprus, and he hit a flock of birds, and he had to pull the ejector seat, and Bernardo Checker just pipes up, did you survive? Oh man, I was crying, you know when you get the giggles. Oh, my stomach was hurting me when it was just fantastic. Every time I just remember, did you survive? I just pieced up. When we got there, we went in for a special, like a little park cabin. And the guy says, business or pleasure? I went, pleasure. And he said, no, it's a bit of business. When he's boxing tonight. I said, oh, he's boxing? I went, Jimmy Peters. Well, no, that's my best mate's son. I said, well, sorry, I'm going to have to beat him up. But he went, you're confident? I went, no, just truthful. I'm going to have to beat him up. And when I got to the venue, I'm upstairs, I'm all gloved up, and I'm walking up and down. And this guy calls, he's got a big right hand where he telegraphs it. Oh, he's got a big right hand where he telegraphs it. And then this other guy comes up and says, when he's hurt, he shows it. So I'm listening to these voices in my head. He's got a big right angle telegraph. When I walk into the ring, there's, I think there's a minibus from Leeds that's gone down, and it's just full of his supporters. It was a showman, a travelling man. And the place was packed, and it was brilliant. The atmosphere was electric, it was fantastic, and I was buzzing. And it lasted 55 seconds, it was great. And he's, Mickey Duff's face is just that, because me and Mickey Duff don't like him, and he don't like me. There are a few stories, but I don't know where I'm going.
Okay, so you've had the world title fights. Two world title fights.
Is that the
Against the best.
Is that
Basically in a pint. And we're going back to basics now. We're going for British title. Let's talk about British titles now. Which one you tell me? Roy Skeldon?
Oh!
The Tipton Slasher?
Yeah. No. The Roy Skeldon fight, when that came up, they didn't want me to have that. He was supposed to be fighting Steve McCarthy. And McCarthy pulled out at the weigh arguing over TV money or something. So they wanted to give it to somebody else, but because I was with Eastwood, they were going to sue the board, so I had against Roy Skeldon. And before the fight, about a week and a half before the fight, I had a nightmare that I killed him in the ring. So when I'm in the fight, it's in the first round, I've got him on the ropes and I go to hit him, and then I have a little flashback, so he's off. And then I go back in again, and he's off. And all the crowd started booing, thinking that I'm showboating. But I really wanted to, but I didn't want to hurt him, if that makes any sense. Stuff. Then I cut him, and I thought I can just win this on cut, so I just picked him apart and cut. But I didn't want to. Well, you don't want to hurt anybody, do you, when you're in there? You want everybody to get home safe.
Tipton Slasher got slashed then.
Yeah. And then who was after that?
So,
The Lonsdale belt, which is just there, meant so much to you to win it. Why? Even after what Lord Lonsdale said.
No, I heard. What I heard was Lord Lonsdale said, no black man allowed the Lonsdale belt. Now, I've always had this thing, you can't tell me what I can't have, so I'm having one of them. And that was, my main aim is to get a Lonsdale belt outright. Because he said I could have one. And the thing is when you're in the ring, it's in your hands. You know what I mean? Nobody's giving you nothing to take out of the judge's hands. What else are we talking about?
Do you want to take a break and we'll come back to it? We've got some questions. We'll do that if you want. Crawford Ashley, that's the first half.